Aloha everyone, welcome to our program. I'd like to introduce myself. I am Karen Lealoha Ka'anehe Carol, and we are here tonight with Heidi, Kealanapua, and with Marshall. Thank you very much for being our guest tonight. Tonight we will be talking about releasing stress in our life. And heavens knows how much stress we have. We have a lot of stress in today's world, whether it is from work or from our family or whatever may be pushing our buttons. And one of the perfect things for clearing the stress in our lives is something called ho'oponopono. Now, you may have heard this word often, and it always seems kind of confusing. And people always ask, well, what is ho'oponopono? Some people think that it is, taking away all the problems that we have or mediation. There are many different types of ho'oponopono. And tonight, I would like to speak about the ho'oponopono that is very simple, that we can use in our everyday life. You know, we each have our path that we have walked. Our life is like a journey up a mountain, and each one of us has a different path that we follow. We only can see from our own path, and whatever our experiences are, this is what we see. And it isn't until we reach the top of this mountain that we finally can see all the views of mankind and finally understand them. And we're not ready to reach the top of the mountain yet. So what we need to do is to try and understand people better, to forgive more often, to live more fully and simply. You know, one of the very important things in ho'oponopono is forgiveness. And I found in doing Lomi Lomi that forgiveness is very vital for people to move on in their life. If we cannot forgive others, then we are stuck. It's sort of like we're on a record. Some of you don't even know what a record is. You know what a DVD is. But a record will go around again and again and again if it's stuck in a certain place. So we keep repeating in our lives over and over again all of the things we've done wrong or the things we wish we had done better. And we remain stuck. It's like we're suspended in space and we cannot move forward or backward. If this is the case with you, maybe ho'oponopono is what we need to talk about. As we talk about forgiveness, many times we do not even realize when we are wrong. Sometimes we think we are right. In fact, we are positive we're right. One of the stories that we've told is about a lady who goes to the airport one evening, and she's waiting for her flight to be called, and she goes to the airport shop and she buys a book and a bag of cookies, and she sits down. And as she's eating her cookies and reading her book, she notices that the man beside her is helping himself to her cookies. And she's trying to avoid him and try to ignore him. But now her cookies are going down until there's less and less in the bag. And she's thinking, you know, this guy's really rude, and I really would like to bop him one because he's just being greedy and taking my cookies. Well, when one cookie's left, she gives him a dirty look, you know, and she wonders, okay, what is he going to do now? And he takes the last cookie and he breaks it in half, and he gives her half and he eats the other. And she just grabs it from him, and she thinks, you know, this guy is so rude. And she thinks, you know, he's a cookie thief. And when she goes off for her flight, when it's finally called, she gets onto the plane, sits in her seat, and she goes into her bag and pulls out her book, and her hand touches something vaguely familiar, and she pulls out her bag of cookies. And so she thought that it was her bag of cookies she was eating when actually she was eating his. And now it was too late to say to him that she was sorry. And after all that had gone on, she was a cookie thief. He wasn't the cookie thief. And many times this is how it is in our life. There are situations when we are positive that we are right. And then it turns out that we weren't. And it's time to say, I'm sorry. Now, we can say I'm sorry, like, sorry, you know, and that doesn't really mean anything. Yeah, it doesn't come from the heart. So from our heart, we need to say, I'm truly sorry. I was wrong. And we risk being rejected. But we also are able to become stronger from the inside and to learn to be more tolerant of other people. So we're going to be speaking a little bit about forgiveness. I have a beautiful conch shell, and when I put it up on the shelf, and one day when I walked by, that beautiful conch shell fell off the shelf and onto my foot. Well, I was not happy about it, and it left a bruise on my foot, and I was kind of mad at this conch shell, you know. And then after about a week, I thought to myself, why am I so angry? And I whispered in my conch shell, I whispered very quietly, I forgive you. And you know what? I felt better. And so I think this is the same way it is with Ho'oponopono. As we forgive, it frees us tremendously, and we're able to move on in our lives. Now, people often say, well, how do you let go? It's easy to say, just let go, you know. Well, if you touched a hot pot on a stove, how long do you think it would take you to let go?
1 second.
1 second.
Faster than that, probably.
You have good reflexes. Okay, yeah, it would be faster than that. Well, letting go can work just as quickly as we trust ourselves and we realize that there are better things to be doing than holding grudges, feeling anger, feeling fear and pain. You know, the word ho'oponopono, the pono is repeated twice, which means this stresses the importance of it. Like lomi lomi is stressed twice. And so to be pono means to live your life the best way that you can. Not perfect, but as we go along, we learn things and we are able to forgive others and ourselves for the things that we have done wrong. One of the things that I'd like to share with you about Ho'oponopono is, for example, the everyday kind of things that you can use it for. Say you're driving down the road and some jerk cuts in front of you and cuts you off. You have a choice. I mean, this happens all the time. You have a choice. You can either roll down your window and shake your fist at them and yell a few choice words, or you could say, you know, why does this always happen to me? You know, I'm always a victim and this happens all the time. Or you could drive out in front of them and slam on your brakes and they could hit your car and you could show them, but then you'd be in litigation for probably a very long time and see this person more often. Probably the easiest way would be to take a few deep breaths and to say, I would rather have this person in front of me than behind me. And say, instead of saying, you know, what is it about you that makes me upset? Say instead, what is it about me that really, that makes me really upset and be resentful about the situation? Have you seen those t-shirts that say, it's all about me, you know? And so in Ho'oponopono, that's the truth. It is all about us. And it is about how we act and how we react to situations. We are in charge of our lives. If you let other people push your buttons and you get out of control, then you are the one who will suffer. So in Ho'oponopono, what we do is to spiritually erase the past. Now, many times we may feel exhausted and we feel like no one understands our situation, or we feel very alone, like a glass ball traveling across the wide ocean with no direction and no destination in sight. So with Ho'oponopono, we are able to spiritually erase the past. And this is actually magical, and it works. I'd like to tell you a little story about a lady who worked with this co-worker for many years, and the two of them did not see eye to eye. And in fact, they didn't even speak to one another except when they really had to, and it had to do with business. Well, this was getting too much for this woman to manage, and she asked for a ho'oponopono between herself and her co-worker. Her co-worker didn't have to be there because as you release and you forgive from your side, the bond is broken and you can move on in your life. As this ho'oponopono prayer was done, you know, she felt so much better inside. But the biggest surprise was when she went to work the next day. As she opened the door, her co-worker would usually ignore her. And this time her co-worker said to her, "Good morning." And that was a beginning. They never were best friends, but they were able to speak civilly to one another. And this is the beauty of Ho'oponopono. Now, you may have a situation in your life where you want to release something. It could have been from a childhood fear. It could be from a crisis. It could be from a relationship that ended. It could have been from a miscarriage. These are all times when we wish we could turn back the clock and go back to where we began. And it's impossible to turn back the clock, but it is possible to see things from a new perspective. And as we see it from a new perspective, we realize that we have the power to let it go. You know, many times we hang on to things past their time. And we are like a river, or I should say like a wave, that goes into the shore and cannot come back out. Or it's like breathing in and not breathing out. We are out of balance. We're out of sync. And so what we need to do is to cut the aka cords. Now, aka cords are the energetic cords between us, between people, whether it is friends, family, like an umbilical cord between yourself and your mother. These are the aka cords, or energetic connections between friends in relationships. Say a relationship ends, and as much as you want to move on and you try to move forward, you can't. And the reason for this is that you're still connected by these energetic aka cords. And so until those aka cords are cut, you will remain connected to this person. It's really amazing how a prayer can set you free, and it really does. There are many experiences from people who have had this aka cord cutting ceremony, and we will be doing that today also. I would like to share with you some of the important things about letting go. We hold on to things past their time because we have chosen to. No one's holding a gun to our head and saying, you must hang on to this, or don't forgive that person. We have done it to ourselves. And although that may sound harsh, it's a truth. And if we hold on to a sorrow, it's because we have chosen to hold on to it. It's sort of like we may be in a situation, we may be angry one day. The next day we may feel sad. And the third day we may choose to let it go, and we do. So we are the one in charge. And when we realize that we have the power to hold on to something, we will be even more powerful when we realize we can let go of the same thing. We are empowered by this. And we can let go of these things that make us heavy. You know, many times I'm around people who come for Lomi Lomi, and their hearts are so heavy. And Ho'oponopono changes it all. Okay, now we've talked about times when we can do this. Something practical. Say with your significant other, you have this big fight. Okay, now this is the everyday kind of thing. You can't move forward, you can't move back. They're not talking, you're not talking. What are you going to do? Ho'oponopono is a perfect thing to do, because first it begins with us, and we say, I'm sorry. And you may not say I'm sorry to their face yet, but kind of accept your part of the blame, because it takes two to tango, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then as you have that feeling within you that you want to forgive them, and you ask for forgiveness, and then you can look at them totally different. Do the Ho'oponopono prayer, which I will be repeating as we do our ceremony. And after that, it's like starting anew. There may be a break in the situation, and your marriage will come back into balance again, or your relationship.
You're sending out a vibration like to them without saying nothing to them?
That's right. And it is picked up. It is picked up and felt. Well, I would like to do an aka cord cutting ceremony with you. So oh, I'm sorry, there's one thing I forgot here. I have a gift for you. This is a gift from the former owner, which is a bird. And the bird didn't need the feather any longer, so he let it go. And this is the same way it is with us, to let go of things we no longer need. And the bird teaches us to let go of these things that we no longer need, to rest in quiet places, and to greet each day with a song. So may we stand, please? I would like to have this string here, and this cord represents our aka cord, and I'm going to stretch it out to you and come back here to me. I'm going to stretch it out to Marshall and come back to me. And I would like to invite you at home to join us for this aka cord cutting ceremony. I'd like for you to think of something you'd like to release at this time. And then when I say your name, then you will say your name and think about the situation you would like to let go of. Okay, is everyone ready? We're going to be letting go of the past now. Pule kako. I, Kumu Karen Lealoha Carol, and
Marshall, Andres.
repeat after me. Wish to do a ho'oponopono
Wish to do a ho'oponopono
between myself and
between myself and
think of the situation. We wish to cut any aka cords of imbalance, of disharmony, of any unwanted memories from the beginning of creation until the present time. And we ask that these aka cords be cut, severed, cleansed, released, purified, and transmuted to pure light. Ah, Mama, Ua Noa, it is given, it is free. Amen. Please cut one of the cords and breathe the ha as you do this. Thank you. Please cut the aka cord. The kapu is lifted and you are free. Mahalo for joining us tonight. We thank you for being here. Mahalo, Marshall and Keala Napua. And we will see you again. Aloha.
Aloha.